So I had my appointment yesterday, my consult at the Comprehensive Breast Center. And it was just a surgeon consult, which I didn't really know that ahead of time, but I kind of picked up from my doctor that my gyno office did something wrong, and they didn't send out like the order for the oncology doctor or the recommendation or something, or I don't know, but she had kind of like a tone in her voice about it. So yeah, so it was the surgeon that we met with. My friend went with me. I got to the place early and was just kind of waiting in my car and got like two texts from coworkers, and I was like, I can't even read these right now because they were very sweet and caring, and it just made me like tear up. So I was like, I'll read these afterwards. So we went in. The place was like very nice, quiet. And I wasn't even long before we like got taken back to a room that was like they did like an examination type thing. Everybody super nice there. So that happens, and I learn when the doctor comes in that she lives just down the street from me, and she said that she goes to the park across the street from my house. Like it's literally across the street from my house. And I was like, oh, I was like, do you know the skeleton dog house? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, that's me. So now she knows where I live. But I did tell her that the skeleton dog broke, sadly. So hopefully he's fixed and back out there soon. But so she was very nice. She also went to my dog park, but stopped going because her dog got attacked there. And I think that I actually remember seeing something on the Facebook page, the group page for the dog park, where somebody had talked about this. So that was kind of interesting. And then she like mentioned some ladies that she was friends with that go to the dog park still, and I knew one of the ladies' names. So small world, but she was very nice. I really liked her. Dr. A is her name. So yeah, so that we did that, and then we went into like this little like consult room with just like a little table, and there was kind of this like wonky weirdness that kind of happened. So my friend that went with me had asked her if she could record when we were in the like examination room, and not record in that room, but like when we got to the consult part. And the doctor was like, no. And she wasn't like rude about it, but there was like a little bit of a tone to her voice, which I get in a world that's like so crazy, where people would be like, no, I don't want you recording this. Where it's like, we just wanted to record it so we had like all the information in case we had to go back and like look at it. But I get it. I was fine with it. So we go into the consult room, and my friend had like misunderstood what she had said. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna start recording. And I was like, no. And then the doctor's like, no. So I'm telling you this because something else happens later, and I don't know if it all just was accumulation of things, but either way. So she starts going through everything. She explains it very well, and since it's only the surgery stuff, like most of the questions that I had on the Google Doc and that my friend added for to on there too were more related to the treatment. So there really weren't many questions we had to ask, but basically I found out I have HER2 positive, and then it's three or times three, I think. But kind of the way I felt like it was explained, which I think I kind of understand it, but I could be off with my understanding, and I'm not saying it's the doctor how she explained it. It's anything that I misunderstand is totally my brain. I'm just gonna put that out there like now. So from what I understand, it's one of the worst, not like the worst, but one of the worst types of cancers. It's aggressive, for breast cancer, but it's also the most responsive to treatment. So it's like I didn't really know how to feel about it. Like in one hand, I was like, you're telling me this is like one of the worst, but then on the other hand, you're like, it's the most treatable. So I have no idea. So like at the end, I was oddly okay with everything. So she goes through that. She mentions that I'm gonna have treat chemo first, and she like when it give me any indication of what she thought how long, because she said she doesn't do that because then when I see the next doctor, we'll call them Dr. N, when I see Dr. N, they're going to give me more of that information, and she might be off a little bit, so she didn't want to like say it's going to be 4 months of chemo, and then I go talk to Dr. N, and Dr. N's it's 5 months. So I get it, but I'm like, I'm the type of person, like, when I take my cards to get them looked at, I'm like, give me the highball estimate, like, just so I can prepare for the worst, and then if it comes in lower, I'll be happy about it. Like, I don't care. Just give me an estimate. I'm not going to hold you to it. So chemo is first, and then she had said that halfway through I will meet with her again. So I didn't connect this in the meeting. It was later that I was like, wait a second, she just kind of gave me timing, because I have my follow-up appointment with Dr. A, which is 6:25. So doing math, I think that's saying I'm going to do chemo for 3 months. So chemo for however many months Dr. N is going to tell me. And then I have the surgery 4 to 6 weeks after. She said that there's no, she doesn't see, there's no proven benefit to removing the boob completely versus removing the tumor. But, I have to do the chemo first because they're trying to shrink it and keep it from spreading. And then she also made a comment that, like, she asked me what my what the gyno office told me when they first called, which wasn't my actual gyno. It was the, like, backup person, because my person was on vacation. And I had mentioned that they said that, like, it was in my lymph nodes, or could be in my lymph nodes. And she's like, that's incorrect. They shouldn't have said that to you. She's like, it gets people worrying, because which I didn't know this. She was like, there's so many lymph nodes. Like, there's a lymph node that's, like, right by your nipple. And so, like, I immediately, when I heard this, was thinking of armpit. And then that got me going, oh my God, if it's there, where else is it going? So she also said that, like, in the test they did, it's such a small sample or whatever, that, like, they saw I think this is how she said it, like, the cancer cells had broken apart. So they are going to, like, assume that it could have traveled to lymph nodes. But, like, she kind of was. So it was interesting that she was, like, seemed a little annoyed with my gyno office. But it wasn't, like, super visible. Like, it was just, like, a tiny tone that I picked up on. So after the surgery, which 4 to 6 weeks after chemo, then I may need radiation. That's not determined yet. And then if I do radiation, then after that, 2 weeks after radiation, which there was no indication on, like, how long that would be, then I need to do the pill for 5 to 10 years. 5 to 10 years, take a pill? Oh my God, seriously? I am so bad at taking pills. So that's going to be fun when I get to that part. And then there was also something, she drew this, like, little chart, which was honestly, like, the sketch was, like, the best reference for me. And I have it. It's I'm going to put it in my binder. But, like, off to the side, which made me think it was going to happen the entire time, was, like, some sort of antibiotic for her, too, that I have to take. I think is what I understood. I don't know. So, yeah. So that was, and then I need to get, four tests, but I think I might have already gotten one. So I think there's just 3. So I did the DNA spit test while I was there, which took for friggin' ever to fill up that thing. And it's, like, literally this much you have to fill up. But, like, I kept, like, the, MA maybe, or PA, whatever, kept coming, like, would come in and be like, I'd be like, is this enough? And she'd be like, no, you need to do more. And, like, they're just all so nice there. And then, like, I did it again, and then, like, opened the door, and I'm like, is this enough? And then she was like, okay, you're good. So I did the spit test, which is for, to see if it's hereditary. But Dr. A said that only, like, 5% of cancer cases are from genes. Which I'm like, what? I would thought that number would be bigger. So I did that one. And then I had to go across the hall to do this test, which I don't remember the name of it, but I, like, stood on this scale where, like, your feet are in, like, those kind of, like, metal looking things, and then you put your hands on a thing, and it measures, like, the liquid in your lymph nodes to, like, check for lymphoma along the way. Like, it gives you a baseline. I don't know. But in there, they had me weigh myself, and oddly, I've lost 5 pounds already. And I'm like, I still thought I was eating crappy. I mean, there was a little bit in one week where I just wasn't hungry because I was so stressed out. But I'm like, really? 5 pounds already? I need to take out those jeans that weren't fitting me a couple, months ago. Maybe I can wear those jeans. Um, so I don't hate that part of it. Not saying that I think I like need to lose like weight or anything, but I don't mind slimming down a little bit. So I did that thing, and then we left and we went and ate at my favorite Mexican restaurant called Mexican Village Restaurant. Which my friend was great because it's like, oh, first I had to go drop my FJ Cruiser off because I was getting the rust cleaned up and a bunch of like other cleanup stuff to it. So we dropped that off, and then I get in my friend's car, and she's like, "All right, we're on our way to Mexican Village," and I was like, "Yeah." So when we were sitting there, I said to her, I did not expect to be like this okay to like have a meal at a restaurant. Like I thought I was gonna be more upset, but I'm assuming that was because of the I don't know about the treatment part yet. Oh, rewind back to the appointment. So my mom was on the phone and listening, and at kind of like near the end where like are there questions, my friend asked like, are we doing this out of order, like kind of asking why are we meeting with the oncology doctor, Dr. N, um, and we're meeting with you now when surgery is later. And so Dr. A kind of made another comment about my gyno office not ordering the proper referral, I think, for like Dr. N, basically. So it kind of made it so that Dr. A was referring me to Dr. N, which I guess isn't the normal process. So she was kind of in a mood about that. That's where I'm picking up this weirdness thing. So then, she referenced like these other tests I have to do, which I have to do an MRI with contrast, a bone scan, and maybe a CT scan. But I'm not 100% sure. I want to say she said no to the CT scan for some reason, but I don't remember. So, anyways, my mom like is trying to like just understand the order of things. So then she says something like, "Okay, so I'm just gonna say CT scan." Um, oh, so she needs her CT scan before she does this, and then like Dr. A like cut her off and was like, "No, I said I have to order all these tests. I don't know what the order is gonna be. The I think patient advocate will call and get things scheduled." But she was like oddly snippy with my mom, and that was literally the only thing my mom even asked the entire time. And so I don't know if she was in a mood about the recording thing, and then about my gyno office like kind of messing things up a little bit, so it was out of order already. And then Melissa, oh, I said my friend's name, Melissa, so she's my best friend. So surprise. So she asked, and then my mom asked. So I don't know. It was very weird. And when me and Melissa got in the car, I was like, "Was that weird with my mom?" And she was like, "Yeah, that was weird." So I don't know what that was. And later, I ended up when I got home talking to my mom and my sister on the phone, and I brought up that I realized the weirdness that happened because my mom can get like a certain way about things. And she was like, "I'm glad you noticed that." And I think my mom wanted to like say more about that doctor, but she didn't. And I appreciate that because I really liked the doctor. She was very sweet to me. And even like, because I think part of like Melissa and my mom's questioning seemed like it was like, so now we got to wait for this, even though they didn't say that. And so, like, Dr. A was like, "I'm going to call Dr. N right now and say, like, get a hold of Emily." And so then she came back into the room at one point and, like, went like this on my shoulder and was like, "I talked to Dr. N. They're going to call you." Literally, we get to the Mexican Village parking lot, and I'm getting a phone call to set up the consult with Dr. N, which is today at 12:20. So, like, here I'm thinking I might have to wait, like, a week to hear from Dr. N. I'm already seeing Dr. N tomorrow or today. So I don't know. It was bizarre. But I really like Dr. A. I think that she's perfect for this and everything. And so I'm meeting with Dr. N today. Luckily, it's at Royal Oak Beaumont. I'm just gonna call it that, even though it's Corewell Health now. It's Beaumont. It'll always be Beaumont to me. So luckily, that's where all my treatments are gonna be because it's literally 5 minutes down the road from me. So love that. My surgery will eventually be at Troy Corewell. I'll call that one Corewell because I have a special love for Beaumont down the road, but the other one could be Corewell. So I'll have to go to that location for the surgery. So yeah, so today I'm gonna find out. I think all the tough stuff. So I've been kind of like yesterday when I was talking to people, saying like I'm oddly okay today, but I don't know what today might be the more information. That's where a lot of the questions are gonna be. Luckily, my friend Melissa is freaking wonderful, and she is rearranged stuff so that she could take me to the appointment today, which I'm really grateful for because I dropped off my FJ Cruiser yesterday. And then when I came home, I had to get my Scion XB jumped because it had been sitting in the garage for 2 months. And once it got jumped, I let it run for 10 minutes and then went to go get the battery checked at O'Reilly's. O'Reilly's. And I got home and there was a big puddle of red in my garage. I think that some squirrels or chippy monkeys may have potentially chewed my transmission coolant hose. That's my guess. So I had to go drop that vehicle off at my trusted auto shop yesterday. So I have two vehicles. Granted, they're like both about 20 years old, but right now I have zero vehicles. So I'm completely relying on my friends now, which I have great friends. So yeah. So then my other friend, Mr. Ted, I'm just gonna go ahead and start using names now because who cares? For the doctors, I'll keep it the initials. But so my friend Mr. Ted came over and took me to get ice cream yesterday after I dropped my one car, the Scion, off at the shop. So I'm supposed to be getting one of the cars back tomorrow. So that's great. I'll have a vehicle again. But yeah, it's like craziness, man. So yeah, don't know how quickly I'm gonna have to start treatment. I kind of feel like they're gonna be like, so next week. I already have one of my tests set up for next Wednesday. They actually send a lady to my house to do the blood draw. I'm like, yes, please. They were like, they called me to schedule it, the patient advocate, and she was like, so you can go to a location or we offer complimentary at home. I'm like, at home? Yes, I'm going to take advantage of this. If I am in this situation, please come to my house and draw my blood. So this test is, it starts with an S. I can't pronounce it, but it's the one where they send your blood out and it determines how likely it is for the cancer to come back. So I really hope that one is like, I think it's what I want is negative on that test for it to say the cancer is not most likely not going to come back, because I'm like, that's going to be annoying if I go through all this and they're like, yeah, it could come back. But yeah, so oddly okay right now, and we'll see how I feel after today's appointment. Yeah, so good times, good times.